Hey, everybody, welcome back. We got Doug Peltzman on the show today. Hi, Doug. How are you?
Hey, what's up?
Oh, nothing, nothing. We're just going to watch you throw some cups, and we were just chatting about. It's crazy that we're both from Long Island. I don't know how I didn't know that. I've been researching you for weeks.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe, it's in my bio. Oh, maybe in my bio was like born in New York, born in NYC or something, because that's where I was born. For
Yeah.
first few years of my life, we lived in Bayside.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Yep. I lived in Elmhurst, Queens. I went to PS 89.
wow, it's incredible. I mean, like I'm living upstate New York in the Hudson Valley. I mean, so many people have
Right?
escaped the island and came here. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but but in the pottery world, I don't know. I think Courtney Martin is from Long Island. No, I don't meet many people potter wise like from Long Island.
As a kid, I mean, I don't think I paid much attention in the 80s and 90s, but I don't remember meeting anybody that was any sort of pottery people or anything like that. Let me put
Yeah,
my
I mean, I don't know about your high school, but you know, my high school had I think four, maybe five full-time art teachers.
Yeah.
It was seemed like well endowed in that regard, but not in the ceramics realm. Like I never really touched clay in high school. I mean, we made a coil pot. I remember, which I have, and it's a very funny. Might even be in here. It's a very funny thing because the whole pot, like knowing now about ceramics, it's like at that time, it's like, oh wow, this is great. Now I look at the pot, and it was fired on stilts, and the stilts are literally melted into the clay with
Yeah.
earthenware that was fired probably to cone six or something, and
That's hilarious.
yeah.
I
Well,
was talking to, I went over to Tim C's house here. Did you know Tim?
I know the work. Yeah, Tim C. It sounds familiar. Yeah.
He does like the robot industrial cups. He's been around a long time. He was a big YouTube like online teacher.
Okay.
But I went over to his house and he was talking about kiln mishaps, and he said he had one that just it never turned off, and it was full of tile, and it got so hot that the legs of the kiln pushed up through the floor of the kiln, and the whole thing fell over sideways.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he said he was really lucky. He found it had melted the floor, like the linoleum floor.
That's shocking. That's a horror story right there. Yeah.
It sure is. I've had a couple like that in the past. I'm super lucky now, and now I got a scut with the controller box, and I hate to say I can't screw it up because that's how you mess things up in clay, but I haven't effed it up yet.
Is your studio at home or?
Yeah, it's right downstairs from. Well, this is an addition onto the house. So when we bought the house, the guy who owned it was the shop teacher, and I can see the high school out my studio window.
Oh
So
wow.
the guy literally walked down the street. But so it's a great little space, and yeah, it. I was telling someone the other day, my work, I feel like it really changed as soon as I got my own space.
Hmm.
Like I felt like I had the freedom, like like
Yeah.
my wheel's a mess.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think yeah, I think you're hitting on something really important. Like your environment is super critical to the work, and that sort of head that you have in your environment, it feeds work. You know?
Yeah, sure. If you're comfortable, you're gonna make cool stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, I really did love being in college, like and getting a degree and being a true studio rat, just
Yep.
meeting people and being in the studio all night, meeting my wife in the studio,
Oh,
uh,
cool.
you know, like like I but at the same time, I always felt that I could like work. I was always uncomfortable with like people looking over my shoulder or not having four walls and just a space where I could really just kind of hide out,
Yeah.
and make things and not feel, you know, like I was being judged in any way. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. What's
you know,
that guy making?
yeah, or just to have that privacy. I mean, what we do, it's so isolating, you know. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I feel the same way, like postgraduate school, I sort of set down the threads or like the voice or the type of work I wanted to make in graduate school. But
Yeah.
after that, I feel like it really unlocked.
Yeah, I mean, because when you're making stuff, it's pretty kind of personal too. I think is sometimes you want to put like love and thought into everything you're making, especially if you want a good piece. And I mean, you know the feeling when you just get lost in the studio all day long. And
Yeah,
I love that feeling. I don't. I haven't been able to find that anywhere else except the golf course. When I'm playing golf, I can. I
yeah,
just kind of zone in. You know.
yeah. I think what you're referencing is like a flow state,
Yeah. Yep.
right? And like, yeah, it's funny. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, like at this point in my career and in my life and in my art making sort of journey, can't see myself not making pots.
Yeah.
Uh, like I
Yeah.
feel like like fit to it. Uh, doesn't I don't know. I don't really get into a flow state in the studio with making pottery. Or like I feel like I'm so hyper um like in the moment of what I do, what I'm doing that I don't know, pottery doesn't give me that. Like I like before I started making pots, I was a painter and
Okay.
I went to School of Visual Arts in Pratt before I found like in high school or post high, like during high school. And I was always a talented drawer and painter. And so, I always did that as a kid. And through skateboarding, you're exposed to a lot of art, even as a young person, and you don't really know it. I mean, you're, you know, making artistic decisions as a 13, 14-year-old that you don't realize whether you're picking a skateboard out because of the graphic on it or how it feels under your feet. Um,
Mm-hmm.
those are all very, very important decisions. So, yeah, I guess my long-winded answer is like, so I started making paintings again a couple years ago, and those paint got me into a state of complete flow where
Really.
I remember it was like 3 years ago, I was firing a kiln and I was working on a painting at the same time. And I forgot I was firing a kiln. Like I was just painting for like
Yeah.
an 2 hours and I was like, holy shit, I'm firing a kiln. Like,
I gotta go. Yeah.
yeah, know, uh, which my kiln's right outside, like no big deal, but like, and it was all fine, but like I was like, huh, like so, I'm 45, so skateboarding is somewhat at this point in my life. Like I love doing it, but I do get injured still.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's a little scary, like rupturing a ligament in your at 45 is rough.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
and
I was
so, you know, I don't know. Yeah, skateboarding and making those paintings was getting me to that flow state, but making pots, I don't know. Like I something about pottery, similar to photography, which I've been getting into a lot lately, is that there's this hyper awareness that I feel like I need in the moment, which sort of, I don't know, like that
hmm,
sort of pulls me out of like getting completely lost.
yeah. Huh.
Feeling
That's
the
interesting. Yeah.
feeling hyper aware of the marks I'm making and what I'm doing. I don't know. It sort of doesn't allow me to get fully in that escape mode that I do when I'm skating. Like when I'm skating, I'm not thinking about anything
Yeah.
other
Yeah. Other
other than
than not
that.
falling down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
other than specific moment, and yeah, I do love the the free having a studio. Oh gosh, I just can't.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh gosh, no, it completely changed the way I make things because I have the freedom to, and when I teach workshops a lot of times, especially like hand building workshops, I say, okay, let's roll out a slab. Now let's go for a walk. And everyone's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you got to let that slab dry depending on the moisture content of your studio,
yeah,
let that sit for an hour and a half and come back to it before you drive yourself crazy trying to play with a wet slab.
yeah, right.
So that ability to like run upstairs and go do a couple things or run downtown and then just come back to my studio is to me it's priceless.
Yeah, and also what you're teaching in that, like, hey, like, you know, now's not the time to touch that slab. An
Yeah.
hour is the time to touch that slab, right? Or an hour and a half from now, or like teaching that notion of timing, which is what we do is all about.
Yep. I was telling I had Adrienne Eliadis on the show yesterday.
Oh
She's
yeah. I
uh,
Oh, that's so cool. I happened to bump into her in DC last month. Very cool.
yeah, she's awesome. She seems really cool.
Yeah.
I was talking to her about the hot clay thing, so hopefully I'll go out and teach a workshop at the hot clay at Idlewild. That'd be fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was a good one. I did that like 10 years ago. That
Yeah,
was
that seems like a really cool space.
I mean, she was there when I did it. She was sort of Richard Burkett's assistant then, kind of assisting him and planning everything. He stepped away and she took over. And I mean,
Correct. Yep.
it's a really great place to teach a workshop. Let me just say that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, 5,000 feet up on top of a mountain, like, a couple hours from LA, like the views, if
Yeah.
it if it's a clear day, like it's just majestic. It is.
Yeah. Well, hopefully she puts me on the list. We had a nice conversation yesterday. Her and I talked almost 2 hours yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, you get talking. I guess that
And that's the lovely part of this show is I like chatting about pots with other artists and other like-minded folks. And I talked to Tony Young. Like, for instance, I got a page full of questions here, or just talking points for you and I to talk about. And a lot, I think yesterday, her and I mean, we didn't look at the piece of paper. We just chatted for 2 hours,
yeah,
which
yeah,
is fun, which I think makes the show fun. And
yeah, for sure.
yeah,
I mean, we could knock off some of those questions, but yeah, I mean, it's like um yeah, there's something about just free form, sort of intuitive conversation where things just kind of come about. What do you work there? A
I'm,
vase?
yeah, I'm just screwing around. I don't know if I want to make this into a vase or if I want to make this some sort of pouring vessel. I was thinking of maybe putting a top on it.
Yeah.
When you get those shapes pop into your head and you're like, all right, now I got to make that.
Yeah, I mean, how often do you incorporate that kind of play in your studio practice?
Pretty much every day. That's kind of just what I do.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I'll
Yeah.
show you what I. It's probably why I don't sell anything, Doug. Yeah, I made this yesterday. I made this while I was on the show with Adrian. This kind of big
Oh,
piece.
wow. Cool.
Kind of.
Yeah, I like those.
Yeah, you like the handles and the feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this was fun. I don't know. And this is black clay. This is the 266 Umbria.
Oh, okay.
I
I,
made this one the other day. This big beast, this thing.
is that
Made
like
this,
a play
this,
or?
this big one.
Oh,
Just
wow.
a big. So what I'm playing with is I really want to mess with this surface. I've been playing with this kind of really, really textured terra sigillata. Uh, if you've seen my work, I'm a colorful guy. So what I'm really playing with is building off of those bowls right there.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Who knows? But I was talking to Adrian about that yesterday. Like, sometimes you make a piece and you get so excited to decorate it that it's overwhelming. You ever had that?
Oh, yeah.
Where you're like, oh no. Now there's too many options, but
Yeah, I mean, for me, it used to be when I was working with porcelain and doing inlay, like, I don't know if you know this body of work, but like, um, I would start a pattern or a design or start drawing on a pot and just be like, what have I begun? Because
yeah,
knowing that finish it, you know?
yeah. I actually wrote that down. Did you get away from the colored stencils you were doing there? Colored inlay?
Uh, yeah, pretty much just exclusively working with iron-rich stoneware, firing and reduction now.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, some years ago, I guess it was like 2020, it was pre-pandemic brewing. It wasn't anything to do with being isolated for so long, but that certainly helped. I always think back on that time as so tragic for so many people, but for like artists, like all of a sudden we were getting like steady income from like
Yeah.
unemployment,
Yeah, that
and
was nice. Yeah.
and it was forced residency. It was like a forced, time of intensive work where I was able to not worry about selling anything because I was getting monthly checks from unemployment, which was more money than I've ever made.
Right. Yeah.
I was able to develop this new work. So I had spent about a decade postgraduate school making uh, highly, inlaid, 5, 6 glazes on pot, sometimes like, latex, wax resist, um, just highly intensive process of making pot. Uh, and it just ran its course for me. Like I needed to find the joy in the studio again. Like the thing that I loved most in the end about making that work was when it was done. Like I
Yeah.
didn't have any joy in the process, and I think that it showed in the draw. You know, I think that I would sell everything that I made. Like the work was very well received.
Yep.
Uh, but to me, that wasn't good enough, and that'll never be good enough. Like it's almost like once the work is reached that sort of plateau where you it's really successful, and I want one of those. I want one of those where I feel like I have to make the same thing over and over again. Like that's where I'm done. I'm like, I'm out.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Which is great to hear. A lot of artists don't do that. They kind of get something that sells and they just run with it, which I mean, I guess you got to pay the bills and you got to make what people like, but I
I mean,
mean,
I don't know if it's about paying the bills or making what people like. I think it's like those folks, maybe it hasn't ran its course, or maybe it never will.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe
I
maybe that's joyous, to make, like, but so I'm only saying from my own perspective in that it's not a judgment about what other people do. It's just like this is what I needed to do to, you know, to continue to maintain my own standard and integrity in the work that I want to make, and it was just like a hard thing of like, no, it was like a divorce. I mean, it really was. It felt like I've never divorced. My wife and I are like, we're best friends. And, I was saying to somebody, like I just feel like being with someone that so well is like, it's like the best kind of experience in life. Like,
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
but yeah, so like, and you get, and your work is like that, right? Like when you hit a stride with your work, you get to that point where you're like, this is a relationship. Like, I can't wait to be with you again. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't wait to get to the studio. When you have stuff brewing, it's like, I want to be there at work. I want to, nurture it very
Yeah.
much like so leaving a body of work that was highly successful, you know, well received, not only highly successful and well received, I loved making those pots, but it got to the point where I didn't love making those
It's
pots.
like a breakup. Yeah.
Yeah. And so around that time, I needed to buy a gas kiln locally. And so we always dreamed about having a gas kiln. Um, like being in school together at SUNY New Paltz, and being in graduate school, always having access to a soda kiln or a reduction kiln, whatever type of kiln you wanted. And then when you build out your own studio, you're like, that's why in graduate school I shifted everything from atmospheric firing. In my second semester of graduate school, I'm like, you know what? I need to change all of my research over to oxidation
Mhm.
in thoughts that in a year and a half I'm going to have an electric kiln, and
Yep.
that's where it's going to be. So that's when I developed my work. I started developing these runny glazes, and then actually developed the work backwards. So the glazes were developed, and then work was developed to hold the glazes on the pot,
Okay.
horizontal banding on pots, and then I started drawing in between them with clay, and it was like um this evolution of the work happened through, quite simply, just wanting the and I off the pot. I ruined so many pots in graduate school. Just everything stuck to kiln shelves. Trying to develop a glaze that like satin where it ran, but pooled in a like a like clear like water, like looking into a fish tank. You
Really?
know, and so sort of like a rivulet kind of idea, but
Yep.
and the work then engineered for the glazes. So anyway, long story short, like in 2020, we got this kiln. I just started throwing stoneware and other, using all the glazes that I'd always used, but testing them on different clays. And, I just started getting really excited about just glaze phenomena and like simple glazes and how iron clay in reduction, there's this alchemy that happens, the slip and the clay and the glaze, and how reduction pulls.
Ooh. Uh-oh, you stopped. Uh-oh. You there? Hey, Doug. Hold on one second.
One October, when I was looking at the trees and I was thinking, like, I want my. Did I lose you?
Yeah, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you kind of cut off.
Are we
We
good?
we
Yeah.
might have to try your kitchen table again.
Yeah.
I want to watch you throw though, but it's kind of
Yeah.
cutting in and out.
We could switch to the kitchen table if it gets dicey.
Yeah,
The
let's.
phone call came in right at that moment. Maybe that
Yeah, you know what you got to do that I found out the hard way is put it on Do Not Disturb.
put my phone on do not disturb. Okay.
Yep. I found that out. It's funny. I could not get any phone calls for a month, and then I start a podcast. All of a sudden, everybody's calling me.
Yeah. I, I think we'll be all right after that.
Yeah, should be.
I don't know what I was saying, but
You were talking about developing glazes for oxidation in grad school,
oh, okay, yeah. How
but
do I
now
how do I put it on do not disturb?
you got an iPhone.
Yeah.
Slide your finger down from the top right,
Yeah.
and it should say "Focus, Do Not Disturb." Or
Oh, okay, got it. Yes.
there you go.
Awesome. All right,
Yeah.
man.
Now we got to get the video back. Let's see. I hear you. I don't see you.
No, I'll get you back. My
Uh,
hands. So can you like slice this and edit it?
yep. Yeah, it's actually really easy. Yep. There you are.
Yeah,
That's
so like so
but
so yeah, so after like developing this work and sort of divorcing from it, getting this kiln, testing lots of glazes and starting to sort of like hone in on a series or sort of a direction where I wanted to move with these pots. In in 2018 and 2019, I taught a workshop in Northern Clay in Minnesota. I had
yep.
done a couple things in the area, and something about reduction fired pots like started to take hold of me. I don't know, a multitude of things. I think over time your tastes shift too. Like I think about the pot I liked 15
Mm-hmm.
years ago, and 5 years ago, and now, and it's always shift. Like I'm a collector of pots, right? And
Yeah.
and so I guess 5 years ago, I just started to think to myself, like, I want my pots to be the kind of pots that I want to use. Like, like I want to make the work that I want to use, that I'm drawn to, and that doesn't have
Mhm.
to make Warren Mackenzie's pots, but maybe it means I want to make pots in that family of pots, you know. And so I started testing tons of glazes and researching different, and it just took me on this beautiful path, you know. And then there was one autumn day where I was outside, like looking up at the leaves, and I'm like, this is the palette. Like, like it sounds cliche or like cheesy, but like, you know, during our pottery tour in October, when I have 300 of my pots outside and the leaves are shifting, and people see my pots with that as a backdrop, they're like, oh,
I get it. Yeah. That's
oh,
cool.
wow, like there it all is, you know, the erosion, the bright lime greens, the you know, the raw siennas, the, you know, the sort of, you know, red tones and orange tones and all that stuff. And it's like, um, you know, and then I started thinking about like playing with like what I call legacy glazes. You know, I use a Warren Mackenzie glaze, I use a Randy Johnston glaze, I use a Bruce Cochran glaze, I use um,
Mm-hmm.
Marie Wu glaze, I use like that I call legacy glazes, but I use them in my own way. I reinterpret them, and
Yeah.
people, you know, like people who know the glazes, like you know, going to the St. Croix pottery tour with pots with a Warren Mackenzie glaze, and people sort of feeling a familiarity to it, but not
Yep.
being able to place it, to me was like really fun. Like not in the, oh, I tricked you, but like, wow,
Yeah.
like we can all share information. Like that's one of the things I love too about the pottery world. It's like, right, it's like, oh, you need it, you want that glaze, okay, cool, here,
Mm-hmm.
right, where it's
Yeah.
like in all other forms of industries, whether it's like painting or, I don't know, printmakers seem very open, but like painters are not,
Yeah.
right? Like, oh, how
Yeah.
do you that color? It's like, screw you,
Yeah.
figure it out.
Figure it out. That's funny. Yeah, that is definitely one of the things. I mean, well, I started this show because I'm a potter, but I just love potters. They're just good people. Like um, Matt Hiller is a good buddy of mine, and you know, I was texting him a couple years ago. I said, "Oh, dude, I love that green that you got." And he said, "Here, I'll send you the recipe." And he just texted it to me. You
Yeah,
know, of
yeah,
course, it takes tons of testing after that because it's never the same way he fires it. It's a different clay body, blah blah blah. But yeah, that's the beauty of potters, right? Just
oh,
amazing folks.
yeah, and just the wealth of, like, so I started firing reduction, and it's like, okay, where do I begin? Well, I have my own recipe book that dates back to 2003, and there's tons of reduction stuff in there. Um, so
Yep.
there's like John Britt wrote a whole book about high fire glazes, and then there's just so much information out there to pull from, and then you know from that you can build your research off of it. It's like
Yeah.
it's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love some of your glazes. That like light blue you have, and there's one I wrote. I was like, I was going down your Instagram. I went back a couple of years on your Instagram, and you have like uh, a white jar. It's just like a toasty kind of oatmeal white. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the butter dish?
Yeah.
It's like a round top butter dish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that white is fantastic.
Yeah, that and there, that, I mean, that's right to the point of what I was just saying. That's actually a Steve Rolfe glaze.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing potter, you know. It's like, you know, a lot of those glazes came from that generation too of potters in the mid, who came out of Alfred, like Steve Godfrey and
Oh
H.
yeah.
Todd Wallstrom, and Steve Rolfe and Matt Towers, like Michael Connolly, like all these people. Like it was like, I mean, Alfred is obviously still a hub and it's an incredible place, but like, I mean, Allegheny Meadows. I could just keep thinking of names.
Yeah, I went to Alfred.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
What years were you there?
So I was there late in life. I went back to school when I was like 30.
Okay.
I've been sober 24 years now or something like that. So I had a good time in Long Island in the 90s. So I didn't go back to college until late in life. And then it's really weird. I was telling Adrian this last night. I became friends with Val Cushing. He was just a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never knew who he was until I found out about ceramics. And then I was like, oh my God, Val was like a god. But speaking of glazes, you got like the VC green, right?
Oh yeah, I used that one for
Oh,
sure.
it's a beauty. And you know which one I tried to get of his for the longest time? I don't know if you've ever seen it. Well, of course you've seen it. Val, he had it was like a matte lavender.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I could never get it. I got the recipe. I got everything. I just couldn't get it.
That's the clay, probably, right?
Yeah, it's got to be. But man,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's got a little fault in it, probably.
My daughter and Matt Metz's daughter went to Montessori school together.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and I know Rose Katz. I've known Rose forever.
Wow. Okay, so you were there what, in the early 2000s or no, later?
Yeah, early 2000s. 2000 to 2003, yeah, 2004.
Is that where you found clay?
Yeah, so I went to Alfred as a theater major.
Wow.
When I was like 30 years old. I wanted to go back to school because I was a spaz. You know what I mean? I was like, all right,
Yeah.
time to grow up. Let's go get a degree and let's do theater because I always liked theater and I like acting and being a clown. And so I went to school for that. And yeah.
You went to Alfred for that?
My mom lived in the town next to it, Almond. And my grandparents used to live in Alfred in like the 80s.
Wow.
Yeah, so we would go up there from Long Island to visit, and then you go from Long Island to Alfred, and you're like, this place is terrible, especially as a kid, right?
Oh my God.
Like, there's nothing to do. This town sucks.
There's nothing.
Nothing. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why people make such great work there. It says there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, and then in the process of going to school, I met people that were potters, John Gill and Linda Sikora and Matt Metz and Val Cushing and just all these icons, and they were just people that I knew from town.
Wow.
It was really cool. So now as a potter, I look back like, wow, what an opportunity that was. I was on the Allegheny Artisans Tour when I was a self-taught potter. I just learned by throwing scraps. You know whose scraps I used to learn how to throw? Wayne Higby.
What, like raku clay?
No, it was porcelain scraps that he was using to make tile.
Oh.
So a kid who I knew in town was his studio assistant. And he had these big giant blue bins full of porcelain, just shavings. And he says, you want them? We got 30 of them. I said, hell yeah, I'll take some free clay. Little did I know, you don't want to learn how to throw with that. Dude, I drove myself nuts for like 2 years. Oh, why do I suck on the wheel? Oh, grog. Yeah.
Well, and not to mention reclaiming porcelain is tricky,
Yeah, and I didn't know what I was doing. I slaked it down.
Yeah.
I just added water. You know what I mean? What the hell do I know? Yeah, so this has been quite a journey to talking to you. Here we are.
Wow, that is, it makes sense. I feel like so many people's path to pottery or to ceramics is so random. It's just like a moment of like touching the material, and that moment everything changes.
Yep. Oh yeah. I remember the first pot I made.
Yeah. I mean, like, you getting a bucket of scraps and just screwing around was like the gateway to the rest of your life.
Yeah. I watched Simon Leach. Remember Simon Leach?
Yeah.
I watched him on YouTube religiously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I would just go out to my studio and throw pots, and they were shit. That's why I'm really good at wedging, because I just threw shit for 2 years. Yeah, but that's probably how I got to hand building too. I was like, all right, fuck this.
Yeah, it makes you really appreciate boxed clay too, right?
Absolutely. Oh man. Oh, I actually I had Matt Hiller. If you don't know Matt, look at his pots; they're amazing.
Yeah.
Um, he's from Alaska. I had him on the show the other day, and we were talking about, when you're in a small studio like we are, you might have. Do you have a pug mill?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, pug mills are great, right? I said, well, they're so friggin' expensive, and they take up so much space. I said, I have an invention. We'll call it the pedal pug. Where you're like,
Yeah.
right? You just do the gearing, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, if you're looking for an investor, count me out.
Yeah, I don't have enough horsepower in those legs.
Oh my God. He goes, did you ever ride a bicycle uphill? Touche.
Like
Yeah,
like up a mountain.
yeah. To get a pound of clay.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't have to wedge it.
Yeah. So I mean, I had in 2017 I bought a ramp. This is a whole other detour of my life. Um,
A ram press?
yeah, ram press. I had a big ram press, and I
Just
was
a whole nother detour.
yeah, that was a whole.
So everything was going fine. I was like,
Yeah, that's right. It was another one of those things. I'm not going to deep into that because that could be a whole podcast in and of itself. But I had press. I made hundreds and hundreds of pots on it. I figured out the whole process of making dyes, and which is basically a mold that has tubing, mold duct tubing inside of it, and you put compressed air so that it can push water to the surface and release the pots to press.
yep.
Um, and so you can Google it if anybody's interested in seeing what ram pressing is. But I sold that ram press about four years ago, and I bought the pug mill with the money that I sold.
Nice. Yep.
So ram press was an investment. I ended up making money off of the ram press because pottery equipment is almost like real estate. It doesn't really depreciate. Like the prices, like as long as you take care of it, you could sell it. Like, I bought this pug mill for what, $8,000 5 years ago. This
Yep.
same now new is probably 15.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, materials are so crazy expensive. Anyway.
Yeah, and then the one you bought and used for 8,000 is still probably worth 6,500 8 years later.
Oh, probably worth 8.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, but my point is that the pug mill, I do not. People come here, they're like, you don't have any reclaim. I have zero reclaim. There is never reclaim in my studio. I trim. I fill up a bucket. Trimmings go directly in the pug mill. I spritz them with a little bit of water. It's workable clay in minutes.
Oh.
Right, de-aired right out. Like I have zero reclaim in my studio. I just had clay made at Sheffield Pottery, so I'm surrounded by 4,000 pounds of clay, which is really exciting because I don't need clay for probably a couple years.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than filling the studio with possibility in that way. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I know how you feel.
yeah,
Yeah, that's nice, dude. Every time, like this morning, I was getting ready for you. I have to clean up my space before I start something new. I don't know if that's something you do, but I looked down this morning at 4 buckets of reclaim, and I went, shit.
yeah.
Like, it's so cold.
Yeah, and people are like, how do you keep up? Like, it's just like to me, it's just another one of those things I baked into the process. It's like, oh, I just trimmed 10 cups. All right, I'm gonna stop for a minute. I'm gonna put it in the pug mill. When the pug mill fills up, I'm gonna de-air that clay. I'm gonna pug it out. I'm gonna empty out the chamber, and now it's ready for 50 pounds. 50 more pounds of scrap to turn into clay.
That's nice. How big is it? Like, does it take up a lot of space? I've seen some of them are like 8 feet long.
It's right over there. It's probably like 5.5, 6 feet long. It's up against the insulated garage door there.
Okay.
It holds about I think it's like 60 to 70 pounds of clay at a time in the chamber. It's a Peter Pugger, which
Nice.
anybody listening in the market for a pug mill, not to poo-poo any other companies, but Peter Pugger is the one to get. Uh,
Hmm.
what I love about it is it de-airs the entire chamber, and then it pushes that clay out. So you're not adding clay to keep it de-aired.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
You fill it to the brim, you close it, you clamp it shut, you mix it. Once it's mixed, you de-air, and you pug it out, and then it empties out the chamber, and then you could add more. Not this like race of like, oh, I got to add more clay, otherwise it's going to lose its vacuum.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, that's huge.
Yeah,
What was I gonna say? I forgot. Oh, so you still fire to cone 10 now, correct?
correct. Yeah,
I find more and more people. I was actually talking to someone the other day who's actually trying to go up from 6 to 10. It seems like it started this trend where most people are going down from 10 to 6.
yeah.
I mean, but if you're making your own glazes, then you might as well stay at 10.
I mean, I just love high fired vitrified stoneware at cone 10. I mean, sure, I could probably most definitely reformulate everything to be at cone 6, and save some fuel, but I also feel like um, burning propane, is somewhat problematic in how it gets to me.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual burning of it, I feel pretty good about.
Are you propane or natural gas or?
I'm propane, so
Yep.
when you burn propane, it's a very clean burn. You
Yeah.
know, uh, in that regard, I think my conscience is clear. And I just don't. I think that a lot of potters, think about sustainability, and that's so important. It's like the more green we can be, the
Yeah.
better. Insane about reclaiming clay. I'm insane about my packing materials. I have a cardboard shredder, so all the boxes that come to my house just turn into bubble wrap, right?
Yeah.
There's lots of ways we can be sustainable. If firing to cone 10 is something that you need to do for your work, then do it and don't feel bad about it. Is
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
my motto. But I have one thing I have on my kiln is an oxygen probe, which I would say anybody firing to cone 10 reduction that isn't spraying soda in a kiln, because you can't spray soda on an oxygen probe, it'll kill it.
Yeah.
Get a probe, because you know you will save thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in firing costs with an oxygen probe, because you can read your reduction, right? You can be like, oh wow, like I don't need flame coming out the bottom port to be in a adequate reduction. I can just look at my voltmeter, which is giving me a readout from the oxygen probe, and know I'm in a neutral to moderate reduction. If I want to go neutral a little bit, I can, and the other thing that I learned is when you make adjustments on a kiln, whether it's a gas kiln or a soda kiln or a wood kiln, or any type of kiln with a damper, moving the damper an eighth of an inch is dramatic,
Yep.
right? Like,
Yeah.
see it on the data readout. It's like, oh my gosh, like that is a dramatic shift. Like, so, you know, it made me think about, in my youth, like how we would just like move a damper around, and
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it was like, like, what are you doing to me? Like,
Yeah. I was at the Rochester Folk Art Guild for about 5 years when I first moved up to where I live now. When I got divorced, I didn't have a studio. I was like, oh no, I got to find a place to make pots. So I found a place close to my house, and we had one of those huge kilns that held like 400 pots. So you're in the back room freezing your ass off, firing it.
yeah,
But it was fun because everyone was involved.
yeah, yeah,
But I remember moving the damper, and the lady who was in charge of it, she's like, no, 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 and she would like take her hand and she go tap tap tap,
yeah,
just tap. She's like, and I'm like sliding the damper. She's like, no, no, no.
yeah, yeah. because you stall the kiln out real quick,
Yeah,
like, yeah,
especially when it's cold, right?
especially cold. Yeah, yeah.
Um, so did you get a BFA from New Paltz?
Yes.
There's a good golf program at New Paltz, actually.
Really?
Yep, SUNY New Paltz. Where is that? Cortland? Where is New Paltz?
No, New Paltz is.
In New Paltz.
I'm in Shokan, New York, which is near Woodstock. I'm about 2 hours north of Manhattan, and New Paltz is 30 minutes south of me,
Okay.
further south.
Well, I'll have to come by one of these days because you're not far away.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you should come out for the maybe the pottery tour would be a great time to come out. We
Oh, that would be a blast. I would love that. That looks like fun. And then, speaking of which, you had Hawk and Lindsay there, and how wonderful is that, dude?
I mean, salt of the earth. Yeah,
Right?
he's
Yeah.
one of the one of my favorite people in the whole world. Yeah.
Well, I just want to give him a hug.
Yeah. Yeah. He's my, it's Hawken. Yeah, so the pottery tour is the third weekend in October every year, reliably, and we we have really incredible pots, and we have really incredible guests, and we feed everyone. We make pizzas. We made, I think, 60 pizzas last year.
Oh,
50,
wow.
got a pizza oven, and my buddy Joe runs the oven, and everybody who comes doesn't leave hungry, and so Hawken, I taught a workshop maybe over 10 years ago at Goggles in Reading, Pennsylvania. And
Where was that?
Goggle Works in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And Hawken is very good friends with the guy, James Pastor, who was running the ceramics program at Goggle Works at the time. And so James was like, hey, Hawken, you should take this workshop with Doug Peltzman. So I was with Hawken for 5 days at Goggle Works, and we just hit it off. He was essentially my student in that workshop, but him and James both went to Alfred. They both they know pots, and
Yep.
and we just, really connected. And so a couple years later, we moved here. We set up. I knew when I moved here, I wanted to start a pottery tour. Um, my co-hosts on the tour, uh, when I was at New Paltz, they were our heroes. Like, we looked up to, Tim Rowan, Jeff Shapiro,
Oh, yeah.
Anat Shifton, who just retired from New Paltz but taught at New Paltz for 20 years. Brian Seabez makes incredible 3D printed pots. And Kathy Erdeman, who's a legend. She's been making work for over 50 years. Barrel. And anyway, so I reached out to them. They were all on board, and we're coming into our 10th year now, which is just an incredible milestone for the tour. But Hawken, so year one, I thought, how do we get this tour off the ground? And I don't want to invite people like this year. Adam Field was here. He drove from Montana to be my guest. But
I noticed that. That's really cool.
year one, I was just sort of like, I don't want anyone to travel crazy far. I don't know what this is going to be. And so I had Hawken, and I thought, we really hit it off. I want to invite people here who I know will not only make great pots, but will, be a part of the family sort of
Yeah.
vibe that we all eat meals together, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everybody stays at my house. It's a real, like, it's like Thanksgiving for 4 days straight, right?
Yeah, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, and so year one, I'm like, Hawken not only is an incredible person. I hadn't met his wife Sophie yet, who is, again, like, it's fun. Like,
Yeah.
they're a perfect complement to each other. Hawken's real sort of fired up, right? He's just so much energy, and
Yeah.
Sophie really knows how to balance them out. She's incredible. And so ever since year one, Sophie has been running our checkout table year after year.
Oh,
And
cool.
we just developed this relationship, this friendship. And after year one, I invited everybody back who did year one for year two because they took a chance on me. And then after year two, I said to Hawk, and I'm like, I think you're going to be my one solid, like you could rely on being at my house
Every year.
until you don't want to be, it's an open invitation. And
Oh,
so
that's great. Yeah.
Hawk's been here every year, and we sort of built this thing together. And I also knew like Hawkins been teaching at Greenwich House for so many years. He's taught in a lot of studios all over Manhattan. He's a New York City native in that he was born there.
Yep.
Uh, and I thought, he could get the word out down there too.
Yep.
That was the initial things. Like, who can I invite that'll help us sort of spread the word? So there was a little bit of an ulterior motive there on my part in the early going of like, who can I invite to help me, regionally get
Yeah.
this.
Blow it up a little bit. Yep.
Yeah. So, in Hawkins' work, it's kind of evolving. Like he's like, he loves jazz.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys talked about that at all. And the nature of jazz is improv, and just that idea of notes kind of moving into notes and feeding off of a band and like that whole kind of thing. Like his work is like that. Like he has multiple bodies of work. They all kind of inform one another. And it's always exciting and it's always evolving, and so, it's not just like Hawkins just here because he's my buddy. Like he's here because constant
Yeah.
challenge what he's made before and, bringing exciting new work year after year.
Yeah. 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 I wish my work could be more consistent. I was just at the Flower City Pottery Invitational.
Oh yeah.
Wes Brown invited me to that.
That's great. That's a fun one.
That was a great show. And honestly, to be a part of that was kind of like mind blowing that my ceramic journey got me there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we were just talking, 10 years ago, I was teaching myself how to throw with Wayne Higby scraps,
Right.
and so it was really an honor to be there.
Yeah.
But I'm next to Dallas Wooten and Austin Riddle, and I'm looking at my pots like, oh my God, my pots are all over the place. I'm like, my table looks like, but that's just how I make stuff. It's all different. I'm always doing like, here, look, I just did these bowls the other day with Matt Hiller.
Yeah, those are sick. Yeah.
I'm always doing just crazy. I don't know, whatever comes into my head, I just make it.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Whatever.
love those. Like I love those handles and the way that the decoration sort of like floats around. Like
Yeah,
I think when we go to shows like that, not only is it an honor, is it an honor for me early on. It was a deep, deep learning experience. Like what maybe you're referencing is like, oh, like, do I want my work to be more cohesive, or is
yeah,
this who I am and how I make?
yeah,
It's like you could lean into that even more, right?
yeah,
You can dial it back. It's like I remember going to shows and just like, oh yeah, like I need bigger, or I need work to complement the display, or thinking about how things help each other, like how a large jar can help you sell a mug or whatever that might be, right? Like how you situate things. But I remember feeling with my porcelain work, putting 100 of them on a table and being like, this is too much. Like when I isolate, that's why I was very successful in those early days with online selling, because
hmm
like isolate one pot was nice because someone could just focus in on that one pot. Whereas a table of them could potentially be overwhelming for some people.
yeah,
And I don't even know what pot to pick. They're all different. They're all wild. I like this work. I don't know how to choose one. Whereas that's like, in the early days of selling online, when people would be like, never buy pots online. How could I do that? Or I, my shtick about that was always like, it's just different. Like selling pots online and buying them in person are like buying shoes in person or buying them online. Like,
Yeah.
you know, both are great.
Yeah.
Like, love opening up boxes from UPS. Like, it's the best, right? And then, see, oh wow, this pot's bigger than I thought, or it's a little smaller than I thought, or it's exactly how, or just, you know, like our expectations are different. And buying pots in person is great because you're gonna end up buying something that you otherwise maybe wouldn't have,
Yeah,
right?
that's very interesting. I think for me, you were talking about you could either dig into that or not, and I think what I figured out is that my personality. I think everyone's personality comes out in their making, right? I think that's why you can see somebody's pots and go, "Oh, I know that guy, and I know his pots." But
Right, right.
my personality doesn't really allow me to make the same thing over and over again. There's too much going on in my head, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
But I think I figured out that I need to make a sort of like a line that's known as Mike Griffin's pots, and people can buy just those. And then when you see a big floral mug like that, oh, that's one of Mike Griffin's, or
right, 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 right.
but I think that's what I got from that is I have to have one coherent thing that people know me for, and then the rest can just be whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean that can certainly help. I mean, but
Or do it.
I mean, the threads that tie those things together could be a body of work that sort of looks similar, or it could be decoratively applying decoration to all those crazy wild objects in the same way. Like,
Yeah.
it could be a lot of things. I mean, I'm the type of person, I'm throwing a board of cups right now, you know, and you could see like this one's squared off, right?
Yeah.
This one's going to be carved. This is a round one that's dented. This one I just put a horizontal band on. Like I can't sit here and make 10 of the same cup.
Yeah.
That's
Me neither.
not required either. And I realized that a long time ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, that I just need to lean into that. Like the person who's like going to come to me and be like, oh, I want a set. I'm going to be like, well, you're not going to get identical twins. You're going
Yeah,
to
you're
get
close. Yeah.
second cousins.
Yeah.
You're going to get maybe first cousins. Maybe you're going to find glazes that match, but the sizes are going to be a little different. Like, I do weigh clay. Right now I'm just kind of grabbing clay from these pugs, but um, after a certain point of, living life, being a certain age, you get to a point where you're just like, kind of like, fuck it. This is who I am.
Yeah.
This is how I work, and this is what works for me. And, you know, you can't make work for someone else.
Yeah. It'll take the life right out of it.
I mean, if money is your thing, then I would say being a potter shouldn't be your thing, you know.
No. No. No, absolutely not.
Or maybe just use, royal blue glazes, and just make, smears. But, if you want to, be on a path of discovery, curiosity, and play and make work that's true to who you are in your soul, then you need not concern yourself with money. And that's crazy. I'm saying that and to be honest, like my wife just got a full-time job with health benefits for our family, but I've been making pots full-time since 2010, and she was a full-time mom, which is the hardest job in the world, since
Yeah.
2011, up until pretty much like she worked at a chocolate place a couple years ago for a year. then quit that, and now she's really in a secure job that she loves. She works for the town here. But like, I've never felt the security of having a spouse with an income that so there's so I guess why I'm saying this is that you know people be like, oh, that's easy to say, like you have a defined body of work that you opportunities come your way, and you have opportunities to sell, but at the same time, like I've had support. There's all these things that have helped us get where we are, no doubt, but over the past 14 years, our income has been my pots, my workshops, and we have 3 children,
Yeah.
right?
Hello. Yeah.
So,
That's pressure.
and within all that, my work has evolved, changed. I've taken risks, and it's grown because I've always said, and the people who know me well have heard me say this. I love working. I love tinkering with things. I'm a car mechanic. I can
Oh,
take
cool.
apart a tractor. I can fix anything. I would much rather go get a job being a mechanic or mowing lawns or doing something to make money. Money is the goal. If I, for survival purposes, if I can't make the work I want to make, right? Like I will never sacrifice the integrity. Luckily, I've been able. I mean, I count it luck, but it also is a combination of hard work and being in the right place at the right time, taking opportunities as they come. Learning in at a certain point to say no to certain opportunities. But I think that I'm saying this from a privileged place. Like every year, I'm like, oh, what's next year going to be? And then emails come in. Oh, do you want to teach this workshop? Do you want to do this show? Do you want to do this? Like, I'm in that regard, right? Like the work is kind of feeding the work, and I've been on this, on this path, and I've built this pottery tour here, which is a huge part of our income now.
Mhm.
And all those things are great. But yeah, like I'm just looking forward to this next phase. My wife Pam, who is people who know her work, she hasn't made work in years. She makes incredible pots. I mean, she was making great pots before I even touched clay. And but she doesn't make pots anymore, and she loves her job. And it's like I'm just excited for this next phase for her to be in a position where she's growing and she's around people that she wants to be around and doing this important job for our town. She's like the deputy clerk of our town. So
Nice. Yeah.
town office, they handle everything. They're like the glue that runs a town, right?
Yeah.
But just having that stability for me, I'm like, what am I going to do next now? Like that I don't feel the need to potentially have to, even though this year I've sold everything I've made. Like I have 0 inventory right now, which is like
Yeah.
I feel,
Nice problem to have.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's incredible. Like it was my best year selling pots ever. And but I'm just like, what is this year ahead going to mean that I don't necessarily need to sell pots this month to pay this bill, or like what chances can I take now? And I've always I've always incorporated play and curiosity into my studio, but it was always in a safe way, like of oh, like this bowl will eventually develop into something that will be sold. It's like it's never like, oh, let's just play for the sake of like these things will never see the light of day.
Mm-hmm.
Like what I don't know. Like I'm excited for that next sort of phase of exploration, and where that might go.
Yeah. My dad used to say, do what you love and the money will come.
That's it.
Yeah, because obviously, because you're going to get better and better and better at what you do. And more people are going to learn that you do what you do, right?
Totally.
It's kind of a common theme on this show, because this is for most people out there that are watching the show that are new. And everyone that I talk to that's an experienced potter says, just keep making. right? Don't quit when you make big, heavy, ugly things because everyone does.
I mean, you need to find a way to work through being frustrated, right? Because
Yeah.
the frustration, it can do two things. It can make you not want to work, but secretly and sort of subversively, what the frustration is doing is teaching you. You're
Yeah.
learning,
Yep.
right? You're
Yep.
learning what you don't like, put where to put clay. Like, one of the things that I love about pots that are like made by folks who have been making pots for 30 or 40 years is that you feel it in the clay wall, right? You can run your fingers through a cup or through a pot and be like, oh, like saying, like your dad saying, do what you love and the money will come. Like, and the longer you do something, you make it with ease.
Mm-hmm.
Not easy,
Yeah.
but learn how to make that thing that once felt complex or impossible. You learn how to do it with ease.
Yeah.
Your body knows, your hands know, you know where to put material. You know how to manipulate wet clay. Like I see you're a slab worker. Like, I see someone like Jen Allen who
Yes.
went from, she's a dear friend of mine who went from throwing pots, and her work and my work took a major twist at the same time. So her and I have bonded over that. I mean, and we've been working together, collaborating on things since 2012. But and
Yeah.
we're close.
I love her work.
Yeah, I mean, and so when I think about slabs, I'm just like, wow, like she was a thrower. Now she didn't. The wheel is gone. Like she doesn't use the. Everything is slab built, and there's so much volume in her work. Like, and it's just like this ability to manipulate a wet slab that only can come through practice, through that practice, right? Through tearing through slabs and just working through ideas and not being too pressed, right?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know who I used to see doing that that always amazed me that made it look so easy was John Gill.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I mean, you just watch him make something and he'll just talk to you the whole time. And before you know it, something's done. Hold on,
Yeah.
I gotta let my cat out. Come on, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, cat. He's a cat who doesn't say much, so when he starts meowing at you, he means something. I got two cats. I got one. His name's Ronaldo, and the other one is like 22 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, he's huge. Yeah, I was actually on my list of things to talk to. I said, was Jen Allen there, Hudson Valley last year?
Jen Allen was, yep, she was actually here for 2 years in a row. 2023 and 24, she was here
She
with
moved to Rhode Island, didn't she? Or?
with Lindsay Osterritter. She still lives in West Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Her husband Shoji, uh,
He teaches at RISD, doesn't he?
yeah, teaches at RISD, so they're sort of like all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember a couple years ago they just cut the ceramics program there at West Virginia for out of nowhere.
Yeah, man,
Ugh.
that's a heartbreaker. I mean, that kind of stuff is happening everywhere.
Dude, and my ex-wife is an art teacher, and I think in today's society, and this is just my opinion, that the last thing we need to be doing is cutting arts and music.
Yeah,
It's exactly the opposite of the things we should do for the future of this world.
yeah.
This,
I mean, our school system here, we're really lucky. We have an incredible music program. We have a band director who is a professional musician. He
no.
inspires. It's all my kids are trumpet players. My boys play drums and guitar. They're musicians, and
How old are your kids, Doug?
I have my kids are. I have one who's going to be 15 in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Grayson, my oldest, Leo is my middle guy. He's 12, and Arlo, my daughter, is 9.
Did you say Grayson?
Yeah, Grayson is my oldest.
I got a
Yeah.
buddy named Grayson. That's the second time I've heard that name.
Nice.
Yeah, my daughter's name is Ada. She's about to be 16 in a few weeks.
Oh, wow.
We have three also. I have my two stepkids. So I have 14, 16, and 17.
Wow.
Oh man, my stepdaughter just got accepted to Villanova, early acceptance.
Wow.
Dude, she's super smart.
You're in the thick of it.
Dude, it's really in the thick of it. But you know what it is, though? It's really interesting because there's this odd little, you're starting to get freedom because they're doing their own thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where you look at your wife and you go, wow, nobody's here. Like, where'd
Right.
everybody go? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
cool. At the
We're
same
some,
time.
we're some years away from that, but yeah, it's nice. Yeah, our kids, we live near a mountain, so they go snowboarding, and
Yeah.
a lot going on in the winter, and the community here is just super tight knit, which is,
Yep.
I feel like people look out for people. And
Dude, I have two mountains. I have one mountain, well, I should say hills.
yeah.
Well, one mountain is literally six minutes from my front door. I used to
Wow.
run the ski school there in the winters because I'm off in the winter, so I would run the ski school, and I was an instructor for a couple of years. But there's also Bristol Mountain, which is 15 minutes away. So the kids go there.
Nice.
My stepson, he's in the terrain park. He's doing 360s and doing all crazy stuff, and
They're skiers or snowboarders.
skiers. Yeah. Yep, and he's in the process of ruining skis. Like I'm like, dude, how about you get a used pair and you use those to ride the rails, and you know what I mean? Because you're just shredding skis that are $500 a pair.
The gear is off the charts.
Oh, it's nuts. Yeah,
Like, my son, he's like, I need, he has a helmet, but it's not the right color. He has, the snowboard coat didn't fit quite right. I mean, all that stuff. It's like,
dude. Yeah,
then you get the season ski pass, and it's like, that's $500. Yeah, it's just the bill.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
my stepdaughter, she's the one that's going to Villanova in the spring or fall. She's been on the race team, the ski team for
oh,
30 or 40 years, and it's just like, okay, now I need slalom skis, I need giant slalom skis, I need the pads, the poles, the suit, the oh my gosh, what we had in this town. So the town I live in is called Naples. It's a really small town, but they're really, really well known for soccer. Like they're a soccer dynasty.
yeah,
So because they don't have any other sports because the school is so small. So all the kids play soccer and they're really good. They missed going to the States this year they lost in like double overtime.
wow,
Yeah, they're so good. And all the kids work for me at the golf course. And it's fun to watch them, grow up and play really badass sports. But they had like a shoe exchange downtown because when you got to get new soccer cleats every 2 years for a kid that's growing. So what the parents would do is just give them to this place downtown, and the kids would recycle them each year.
yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, I mean, there's a swap thing like that, but yeah, I know. Yeah, I wish we had. Yeah, I wish we knew more people with kids that had grown out of their snowboards, and just like we just rent. But my kids are still growing, so we're just like, a couple in the summer. There's a couple ski, rental places, and they have deals, and you just rent the gear. We rent the gear until they grow out of it.
Yep, yeah, that's a good way to do it. Yep, save yourself thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what else. Oh, I like those little lamps you made. The back, like the votive candle holder. That's a really cool idea.
Oh man, thanks. Yeah, that's yeah, I've been thinking about those a lot lately. I have one left over there. I'm like, is this something I'm going to continue to make? I don't like it, it's a real personal object.
Yeah,
It, I don't know. It's the one thing that I've ever made that came to me in a dream, which is weird, like like it looks like a spiritual kind of altar thing, like with the candle and the bowl and it glows and
Yep.
yeah, and I had a dream and I was like in a room and there was a mantle and there was this bowl and there was a candle and the bowl was glowing and I woke up and I made this little drawing. I have it on the wall here. And uh and that was how those were born. And that, I mean, that was an object that I wrestled with. It went through many iterations before it was like, okay, this is something I feel good about.
Yep.
Uh, but yeah, I love the way that the I'm gonna grab one.
Yeah. Don't you love when you get those ideas and you're like, okay, I got to make this now.
Yeah, yeah, I love the way that it like so this is it one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Then it has these feet, so
Oh, I love it.
it has some nice negative space underneath, and this is all hand built.
Yeah.
Uh, but I love how it's meant to be used from this direction, right? You could put it on a shelf, um, but it's like I put so much attention on the backside, like, I just sold one the other day, and the backside of it was like the coolest surface I think I've ever created on anything.
Really?
Just kind of funny how it's sold. It's on my website. It's sold. It's that one called Marshmallow. The
Uh,
backside wild, and I don't know, like I love objects that have a front and a back. Often when I make, you know, a pitcher or a cup or a tea, like those are meant to be looked at in the 360. There's something nice about thinking about an object that's only meant to be looked at from one angle,
yeah.
giving attention to both of those sides. Um, Yeah, I mean, there's more I can do with these. I've thought about coating the whole inside area with luster and
Oh, yeah.
seeing how the candle light will affect that reflection.
Yeah.
Um, you
That's a
know,
very interesting idea.
also contemplated like thinking to myself like maybe I'll never make another one.
If you have one, you win.
Yeah,
But
you know,
that's
but like I'm like I don't know if I have them in me anymore. Like I just get to that with certain objects, like cups and mugs. Like I'll never get there with those.
yeah.
But I don't know. Some of those like objects that you invent, like I have some these bowls, and obviously I know I didn't invent a oval bowl, but this particular bowl with this
Yeah.
particular foot, right? Like this was another thing that I really wrestled with. I'm not done with these, but I can see myself one day being done with them, and wanting to wrestle with something new, and
Yeah, that's a really cool piece. So do you throw a big bowl and then cut it and add sides?
no, I throw a really big bowl and just squeeze it oval, and then I take a big wire tool and cut it,
Ah, okay.
right? And
That
then
makes sense.
and the decorated part I dip it in white slip right up to there, and dip this in white slip, and then I do wax resist decoration and paint all those glazes on there.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like color, as you can tell.
Yeah. I love color. I can't get away from it. I think about I love potters who just use one glaze and really commit to a tone.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll collect their work until I'm dead. But like for me personally, like I need to be surrounded by 30 glaze buckets and
I just got the show just got sponsored by Speedball, actually.
oh nice.
Yeah, so I got tons of. I mean, I got a shelf full of Speedball stuff over there. As a matter of fact, this little pink on here is a Speedball glaze that they sent me,
Oh,
and I'm like, this was. I don't know about you, but I don't do a lot of test tiles. I'll do some when I get early on, but I'm always like, I'll just paint some of this on there, see how it comes out. So that was a total test, and I kind of love it.
yeah. I mean, your work as a test tile. I love it,
Yeah,
because That's where, that's how you see glaze in action. Like, it's hard to know what something's going to be on a test tile, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's so limiting.
Yeah. That was pretty interesting to hear you say you said that's the coolest surface I think I've ever done. From a guy who's made, I mean, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of pots you've made. That's wild to hear somebody say that. So do you not want to are you chasing that? Are you going to try to make that same surface? Are you like, that's the coolest thing ever I'm done?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't chase it.
I mean, you're going to make it again, or?
Like, try to replicate that glaze effect.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I can. I mean, maybe, I don't know. It was fired in the soda kiln at Sugar Maples during my workshop this summer, which we didn't spray soda, but it was a residual soda firing. It was very specific to where it was in the kiln. Like, I don't think it wasn't even a glaze that I used. It was one of their shop glazes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I felt like this is a special pot, and I can let this pot be. I don't know. I guess I didn't think like, oh, can I do this again?
Yeah.
I just felt like, yeah, I don't.
More power to you, because I'd be like, oh God, now I got to build a soda kiln. you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's partly my relationship with that particular form these days, which is like, I, 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 I love them, but I don't know if I want to make any more of them. It's weird. I don't know.
One
Yeah.
of my good buddies from Alfred is Angus Powers. He's the head of the glass department.
Oh, okay.
Really cool dude, really, really amazing glass blower. And we were chatting one day, and he says, "Dude, how come you got to come over one day and blow some glass with me?" And I said, "No, no, thank you." And he said, "Well, why not? You'd be good at it." I said, "I know." And then I would love it. And
Yeah.
then the rest of my life would be dedicated to finding a way to do more of that. I'm like, I appreciate it, but I'm not stepping into that room.
I can relate to that. Yeah.
It's like trying to learn a kickflip. I'm not leaving till I land it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess that's my problem. I mean, these days I do more skateboarding, and I skateboard in my head every day. Like, it's so much funny. Like, as a kid, it was all like, let's just do it. Let's go do it. And now I learn tricks in my analytically by studying.
You got a phone call coming in. Oh,
Now
hey.
my back is getting low. It's all good.
Well, we're almost done. We're at 100 hour and 20 minutes.
Just like by thinking about things, I feel like, but yeah, like, I'm cautious too, to like not like something too much.
Yeah, it's called an addictive personality. I was a skater as a kid too, growing up in Long Island. When they first started making quarter pipes, even before people were making half pipes.
Playgrounds, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I had the Powell Peralta freestyle board, the long skinny one with the skull on it.
Wow.
Yeah, that was old school. Remember when you used to put the rails and the nose guard on your board?
That's all coming. That's all back now.
Yeah, and they were like really neon colors.
Yeah, I mean, it's like everything that was once popular across generations of skateboarding, and I feel like music too. It's like is free game. Now I love that aspect of it. It's like not like in the 90s, if you were riding an 80s skateboard, you were a loser.
Yeah.
Right? But in like the 2020s, if you're riding an 80s skateboard,
you're hip.
You're cool. If you're whatever setup, like there's an openness that I love, about most anything. I feel like that's kind of happening, in a lot of disciplines.
Yeah, it's like people that bought toys and never opened them.
Right.
You still have the original. Who was the stretchy arm guy? Remember that thing?
Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah, and you never took it out of the package, and now it's worth like $11,000 or something like that. Yeah. So you're. I was gonna say your handles have kind of become iconic. Did you slip cast that handle?
Yeah, so those handles initially for the first, I would say 3, 4 years of them being out in the world were all hand built.
Okay.
And around 2014, I made about 50 little molds. They're all kicking around here still. So I have like 50 of these kicking around,
Oh wow. Yep.
which are those handles. And so I made like, actually there's 25. I made 50 handles and then I plucked the 25 best ones and then made 25 molds and then proceeded to slip cast them for about 3 or 4 years, maybe till like 2018. And then in 2018, I stopped making that hand together, just like the things that I do. It's like, oh, something's super successful. Let me
Yeah.
let me deprive my audience of it.
Yeah,
So
you like that? I'm not making those anymore.
yeah, I just, I wanted to. Well, what I started doing, I started like pulling handles off pots,
Hmm.
and really into it, and I'm like, this is what I want to focus on now. And so all the handles that I make now are pretty much pulled off of pots, but I do use these molds now as press molds. So I'll press half a handle, press the other half, and then squeeze them together. And
Hmm.
I have
Yeah, I love doing that. I have a couple of press handles that I like to mess with.
a little mini one
Yep.
is
Yeah,
right. That's
it's a
like a
cool
little
piece.
doodad added, and I use them for. I use the bigger ones for like teapots, like more specialty objects. I don't really put them on mugs anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's very cool. When I was at, I see you have your Aramont shirt on. I have my Aramont hat on.
Oh wow, yeah, it's
Yeah,
incredible.
it's a great
That was an
spot.
I didn't know if that was an Avengers hat or an Arrow.
It looks like it, doesn't it? No, that's actually an Aramont hat. They gave that to me last time I taught there, and I can't wait to go back. I love that spot.
It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite places to be. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love Berg. I love Aramont. I love the people. I love the memories that I've had there. I feel like my whole ceramics career was built from experiences I've had at Aramont.
yeah.
Like
Wow, that's saying a lot.
in a profound way. Like I feel like most of the relationships of people that I would consider my family were formed at Aramont.
Wow. Yeah, that's huge. I kind of feel the same way. I've been there for Pentaculum, and then I went back and taught a workshop there. But when I went and taught a workshop, because I'm a golf pro, that's what I do for a living. Uh,
Wow.
they brought me down a couple of days early to play in their fundraiser golf tournament.
Wow.
It was great. Yeah. So I was down there for like 2 weeks, and when I went to the studio, that amazing studio, right?
Yeah.
The class before me had got canceled. So, dude, I had that studio to myself for a week.
Wow. Wow.
Dude, dude, I had 2 tables full of stuff. I had music cranking, and it was like, I am in heaven right now. And then people, they just feed me, like, just go get some food and then come back and make more stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
No.
it's the best.
Uh, yeah, that's the thing. It's not just like a concentrated place to work. It's like the having the meals together, the whole environment of being in a place with like-minded people, with like-minded goals, and sharing information. Uh, just living life together. It's like
Yeah, there's nothing better to
that's
me.
what life is all about, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's like,
well, it should be.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, it was really cool that that whole week at Aramont culminated in. So you've taught a workshop there, yes?
Oh yeah, I've taught there a handful of times. Yeah,
So when you get to put a bisque mold up on the boneyard.
yeah,
So I made a piece to put on the boneyard, and I know Sam Chumley's a buddy of mine. I love Sam. Hi, Sam.
yeah.
I said, hey, can I put mine up there next to Val Cushing's? He goes, you put it anywhere you want. I said, get me a ladder. So my piece is up like there, right next to Val Cushing's. And I knew Val back in the day. So, it just touches my heart to see it up there on the shelf.
Yeah, yeah.
because
Yeah,
Val was at my house when I was first making pots, and he was like, "Keep trying, kid." But he was very like Val was like, these are amazing. You should have went to Alfred. These are better than some of the grad students. Just do this, this, and this, and keep at it.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. I mean, yeah, the boneyard. I mean, what a beautiful sort of physical manifestation of everything that's ever come through Aramont,
yeah,
right? Look up there, and you're like, wow, this is the Hall of Fame. Like this is
yeah,
these are the beautiful objects that were formed during the week of these weeks of transformative experiences for people.
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my God! Think of the thousands of memories that were
Yeah,
made when those
you
pots were made.
should be able to put your pot next to Val's, and for it to live there in that way, it's like a full circle moment. It's really
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's like my life and my ceramic life meeting. It was really weird. And then you got, I don't know if you saw Adam Field's giant pot in the corner.
I've taught 2 workshops at Aramont. I've been there for the Utilitarian Clay Conference 3 times, but Adam made that pot in the workshop we taught together.
Really? Well, because I was looking at it and Sam says that's not bisqued yet.
Yeah, no, they never bisqued it.
I was
Yeah,
like, "Are you crazy?"
yeah. And then Michael Klein popped in on us. He was rolling through town for whatever reason, and he painted it.
Really?
Yeah, like that floral decoration on it was Michael Klein adding his touch to it.
See, that's a priceless object now.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool.
You know what
Yeah,
I did when I first got there is I put my phone on a like a selfie stick and I stretched it all the way out and I started at one end and I walked really slowly with my phone across the boneyard.
yeah,
I went around the whole place. I got a slow video of every piece in there.
right. Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's cool. If you can't find inspiration on that shelf, you need to do something else.
Yeah, I love Aramont. Yeah, I was there in September for the Utilitarian Clay Conference, which is just one of the greatest conferences that have ever been invented by Bill Griffith and Peter Biesiker, and uh, Lindsay Rogers runs it now with Chandra
Yep.
DeBeat, Nick Ford. It's just like,
Yeah, Nick went somewhere.
yeah, Nick is somewhere. We're all somewhere.
Yeah, right. How fun is Bill Griffith? I went over to his house to have coffee with him, and
He's the best.
that
Yeah.
was like the rite of passage. And it was cool. He says, "Well, pick a mug," and he's got that. I was like, "How the hell do you pick a mug? Like, you're better off just giving me a solo cup because I'll be standing here for 4 hours. There's no way." So I took a Sunshine Cobb mug, but yeah. All right. Well, we're at like an hour and a half. I mean, I feel like we're just getting started. I could chat with you for all day, and I look forward to chatting some more.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of quick things. I love those coil and pinch margarita glasses you did. That's really good.
Oh wow. Yeah, you're really digging deep. Yeah, those were fun,
That
you
was a
know.
different shape for you too. And you hand built those?
Yeah, I mean, a couple years ago, I haven't made a coil pot in a little while, but I was making these sort of large coil vessels, sort of Lucy Ree inspired. Um, and I got an invite from Companion, and I thought, hey, let me hand build like these margarita cups and just see where they go. So the base of it is sort of reminiscent of these vases that I was making, sort of like a bubbled thing. And then yeah, I just coil built those. Those are
Yeah.
coil.
Yeah, that's really well done for
Yeah.
a guy who doesn't hand build a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like I think that if the piece warrants me hand building it, I hand build it. If it warrants me slip casting, I slip cast. Like I'm I'm a technical person, so I'm not a purist in that way of like, oh, I only need to throw pots. Like I can envision one day not. Even though the wheel is my main tool. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
like I love pinching. I love making coil pots. But yeah, those margarita cups were super fun. It's nice to have like that where challenge to get out of your zone.
Yeah, I've told this story a few times. Like, so I was a wheel nut. I got addicted to the wheel. Like I said, I was trying to teach myself with Higby scraps, and I remember the moment where I threw a cylinder, probably a foot tall, and I sat back and I leaned back against the wall because my chair was in the corner, and I looked at that cylinder and I went, "Well, now what?" And I realized that for me with the wheel, I'm stuck. It's either a bowl, a cylinder, or like a plate.
Right.
And then there's so much work that goes into that piece after that initial throwing. The throwing is the fun part, but I'm going to completely alter it after that. And then I remember seeing Sunshine Cobb. It was like a 30-second video as I was scrolling through Instagram, and she was just coiling, and I went, "Oh, like, duh, that's a nice way to do it." And it was like, boom, and I was a hand builder. I just started because then I could make any shape I want. Like I just made these silly little bowls while we were sitting here. I love this little thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Sunshine's a great example. I mean, she's like, I remember demoing with her, and she could hand build quicker than I can throw.
Yeah, that's
I
what
mean,
I figured out. Yep.
it's like you think, oh, I hand built, I can't make things fast, but like,
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
yeah, you can do whatever you want to do in whatever way you want to do it if you get good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because I tell people that I could probably hand build this faster than I could throw it.
Yeah.
With all the wedging and the time on the wheel and all that stuff, by the time you're done doing all that, I'm already making another piece.
Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons I started ram pressing was because I wanted to make a square plate with a square foot, and good luck trying to throw that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, Doug, this is awesome. I really appreciate your time today, and I look forward to picking your brain more in the future.
Yeah, this is great. I really appreciate you having me on. It's like anytime I can just rap about what I love and what we love, it's like, and people can hopefully glean something from it. That's what it's
Yeah.
all about. What
Are
it's
you
all
gonna Are you going to Ensika this year?
I will not be at Ensika. I wish. I think you can count on me being at Ensika in Baltimore in 2027 for
Okay.
sure.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I will be there as well. Yeah, let me know about the Hudson Valley Pottery Tour. I'd love to be a part of that.
Yeah, Hudson Valley Pottery Tour. We'll see. Yeah, for anybody out there who wants to come and is in the area, we had people drive from Toronto. We had people come flew in from Seattle, all different places. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
highly collectible thing, and yeah, this year coming up, my guests are going to be Hawk and Lindsay, Brian Hopkins from out in your neck of the woods, and Jody Masterman. Jody.
Jody Masterman. Do I know Jody? I know Brian.
Jody's a potter. She's up in Jamaica, Vermont. She makes incredible work.
Oh, I gotta look her up. Yep.
Fire, fire her. Look her up. I'm all fired up about pottery. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're at that time. So, I mean, what great tip can Doug Peltzman give to the?
Oh, I mean, I think I can. I mean, one tip. This is just kind of geeky, but maybe nobody's ever doesn't know this. Toilet cleaning brush. Attach it to a drill. Mix your glazes with that. You're
Yep.
welcome.
You're,
You're welcome.
you're welcome.
It's going to change things if you didn't know about that, because you can, up the side of the bucket, it'll get all those little bits, and you can really dig. Last thing I think, a tip is something that was passed on to me from one of my favorite potters, Matt Towers, and it was passed on to him from Betty Woodman. And that's, especially this time of year, the holiday time of year, when a lot of our studios go dark because we're busy with family and doing things.
Mhm.
Have something, and these cups are going to do that for me. Have something cooking in your studio to get back to.
Yep.
Or write something down so that when you get back to your studio after maybe 2 weeks, a month of not being in it, you can just pick up where you left off. I think a lot of times people come back into the studio after not being in it for a while, and it's like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
where do I pick up, you know? And so to have that little thread or that little idea cooking to sort of be that entry point, I think is really important. You know, it
Yeah,
helps just,
that's a great idea. A lot of times I'll come down in the morning and I'll do one or two things. I'll roll out a slab on the slab roller and I'll throw 6 to 10 mug bodies because I
yeah,
know they have to sit and I can't touch them, but it makes me not leave for the day.
yeah,
I have
yeah,
to stay now. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
there's 6 mugs and 4 bowls in there that I threw last night because I was going to work on them on the show, and now I got to finish them. Can't go anywhere.
yeah. You know, I mean, it'll help alleviate some of that. I feel like some of that anxiety or stress, right, that can happen. Um, yeah, when you just haven't been working for a while. You know, even
Yeah.
somebody who has for years. People take workshops with me. I haven't made pots in a very long time. And I'm just like, pick up where you left off.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, because wherever you left off was the journey. You know, let's just continue that journey, and then we can diverge and maybe go somewhere else. But you know, people beat themselves up, and I think the world is brutal enough. Like we need to
Yeah.
beat our more. It's like find that little comfort space and work in that, and then you can disrupt it or get uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah. Be okay in your own space first. Um, last thing I always have people tell us is where people can find your work right now, galleries, website. Where can we buy Doug Peltzman stuff? And
Yeah, my
everything's
my website is always a great place. I have pots up for sale on my website right now. I my work is all over. Work at Northern Clay Center. They all have great online presences. The Clay Studio in Philly, the Schaller Gallery, Clay Akar, uh,
Mhm.
Clay Art Center, local to me down in Port Chester, New York. Um, you know, a lot of organizations are nonprofit, so you know the money they make from sales goes directly back into the community and the programs that they put out, which is really important. Um, and you know, the Hudson Valley Pottery Tour. It's the one time I open up the studio uh, throughout the year where I have 300 pots. You know, I love pottery tours because you really can see the breadth of somebody's work. Like you go to the St. Croix Pottery Tour and there's like hundreds and hundreds of pots that people have made. You come here, I have hundreds of pots that I've made over the last 4 months, and it's just like, wow, like there's something for everybody, you know? I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. Yep. And it's so fun to be a part of that too, because so many people put their heart and soul into their work, and then they're just laying it on the table, and you standing back and going, "I hope people like this." You know,
Right.
what a terrifying moment, and what a great moment too,
Yeah.
right? As an artist. This is like, okay, here it is, man. Like,
Yeah. I mean, just we could just keep going. Yeah, because you just opened up like, yeah, the vulnerability aspect of being an artist. It's like, you know, when people tell me, wow, your work is really soulful, like I feel you in it. And,
yeah, yeah,
you know, if you spend a couple minutes with me and spend a couple minutes with my work, you'll understand that it's a serious endeavor, you know, and it's also super fun at the same time.
yeah.
And all that stuff kind of plays out in the work, you know?
I love what you just said. It's a serious endeavor, but the play has to be there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and
You know,
that's a really hard thing to find, right? Like this is serious. I got to make money doing this. I'm making really useful things, but if I'm not having fun doing it, why am I doing it?
yeah, I mean, and it's a good tool for teaching as well. Like students often think just because we're having fun that it's time to fuck around, but that's not what we're saying. We're saying we're going to be serious about the work, but we're also going to not take it too seriously,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
incorporate play, but we're going to do it in a way where, you know, we're all, you know, climbing. You know, maybe
You're growing. Yeah.
but we're growing throughout that sort of that graph of our journey in making pots. Yeah, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, we could just keep. I could talk about this all day. A couple cups of coffee, and that's what I love to do. That's why I started this show. Is like I love to talk to people like you. I want to hear what you're thinking and what you're thinking about what you when you're making, and I think people like to hear that as well. So,
Yeah.
but you just made me think about my mom said something the other day. She saw a piece that I did. Over Thanksgiving, family was here, and I was showing them the studio, and she grabbed the piece. She goes, "Oh my God, this is the most beautiful thing you've ever made." I said, "Oh, that's not offensive. That's not offensive at all."
Yeah.
Like I know she didn't mean it that way, right? Like,
Right.
oh,
Right.
yeah, thanks, mom. So everything else sucks. like, uh,
Well, that's our job as kids, right? We have to constantly be like, oh, we're being shamed again in some way, and let them know how we're being shamed. But
especially Long Island moms, aren't they the worst, right?
well, Long Island Jewish moms.
Yeah, they say. What I was telling somebody the other day. My dad used to say, "What's the matter with you?" But it was like one word.
Yeah.
He said, "What's
Yeah.
the matter with you?" Yeah. I was like, "Wait, what? Did you just say 4 words in one?" Yeah.
Yeah. And but within all that, it's like, it's all prefaced with so much love, right? And like wanting you to succeed. Like her saying that is just like her way of like relating to that object
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
not a very tactful way, but
Yeah. I got it.
yeah.
I looked at my brother. He started laughing. I'm like, it's fine. I get it.
No, it's been a great conversation. My phone is at 5%, so it
Ooh,
looks like we did it,
yeah, perfect timing. It was meant to be. Doug, I really appreciate you. You're awesome. I look forward to meeting you in person, and best of luck.
Thank you so much for having me on, bud. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, sir. See ya.